Hi, Ben at Numbergroup here to give you a video on how to integrate Slack with our own system, basically to taking use of the Webhook system that we have just launched. So when you normally go to the Slack website, you'll be presented with this. Obviously, I'm signed in with the Numbergroup team. Obviously, if you don't already have a Slack team, then you would just go on the Get Started link. You'd go through the sign up procedure. You'd obviously put in your email addresses and so on and so forth, and then obviously that will then go through and sign you up. Once you're signed up and you're logged in, you'll be on a page that looks like this. Okay, so you've logged in, you've created your account, and you've logged in. Now, this is a new team I've created within it. I've called it Ferret Lovers. Why not? And obviously you come with two standard channels as general, and obviously you have Slackbot and you've got your own self. Now obviously you normally invite people in to allow obviously to share and talk to them, but for the sake of this video we're literally just working off the fact that we're just going to do an integration where if we receive a call we get a notification coming through to the random channel. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is go to the top here and then go to Apps and Integrations. Now this will open a new window or a new tab in your browser. You then need to go to the search and you need to search for Webhook. And you need to select Incoming Webhook. Okay? So an incoming web is a simple way to post messages from external source into Slack, which is exactly what we want to do. So click Add Configuration. And so it then asks you to post to a channel, which is correct. So we want to post to random. Okay. Now you can create a new channel if you want to. For the sake of this video, we're just using one that's already there. And then you click Add Incoming Webhooks Integration. Okay. Once you've clicked that, you will set a new integration out at the top, and you can obviously see that this was added by Ben on the 14th of June. You can also disable or remove it from up here. And the most important thing you need is this link here. This is the webhook URL. Now this is basically so you know where so when you send information to Slack, they know where it needs to go. So you just need to copy and paste this webhook URL for use within our own system. And that is basically what you need to do within Slack. That is a very simple setup procedure. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bounce over to the Numbergroup system, and I'll show you what you need to do from there to get the whole thing working. Okay, so I've now logged into my Numbergroup account, and obviously this will be the screen you'll be on the home screen. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go to Numbers and go to your account your numbers are on. So in this case we're going to be using this number here. Okay, so we need to basically set up a webhook, so we want to do a starter call webhook for the sake of this example. So I'm going to go Add Webhook, give it a name. Call it Slack Notify. Now the URL is the URL we got from Slack earlier on. So if you grab that and paste it in there. Now post body, this is where you put what you want to be basically displayed in the thing. Now you can obviously put whatever you want. What I would advise you to do is look at Slack's documentation for information about how you can format text within it. For the sake of this, I've done a sort of a pre-made one. So say this is one I did earlier. So let me just copy and paste that into there. There we go. So basically what this is going to do is it's going to show the number that's being called, the caller's number, and a few other bits and bobs. Okay, so within the conditions we need to add a few conditions here. So for the first one we basically need to say inbound connected is equal to false. So basically we're just saying that as if the inbound side is not connected, we can use this webhook. And we also want to use outbound connected. Oh, make sure you put the right brackets in, it does make a big difference, is also false. Now you could obviously change this. If you wanted it so that you only got the notification when the call was actually connected to someone, you could change that to true. So if you wanted it so when both the inbound and the outbound links were connected, so basically when the call was established, you could then change those to true, and that was obviously when the message would come through. As it stands, this will basically send the message through to Slack as soon as the call comes into our system. We don't need to set any variables, so that's fine. So we'll just click Save at the bottom, and then we just need to go to Slack Notify, which is our startup call webhook, and click Save. Now in theory what will happen now is when someone calls through to this number, you'll get a notification within Slack to say, oh, you've got a call coming in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to quickly bounce back across to the Slack system, and I'll make a call into the 0800 number, and you should then see the notification come through. Okay, so I've bounced back to Slack now, and one of the first things you can see is Slack has notified you that an integration has been added to this channel, which is called Incoming Webhook. So obviously that was the first step we did. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to place a call through to that 0800 number. As soon as it rings, we get this notification come through, and that's basically the webhook system working there. So basically, as soon as the call hits our platform, we'll send a notification out to your Slack thing to say, call over your Numbergroup surface, it gives you the number, and the number they called, and obviously the caller's number. Now, there are things we can do with this, so we can actually configure this so it does display a little bit differently. So once again, if you go to Apps and Integrations, and if you look at Manage Integrations, okay, so if you click Edit, you should be able to change what it looks like. So you can customize the name. So let's just say we want to call it Numbergroup Notification. And you can change the picture, or you can choose an emoji. So let's just say, for the sake of the video, let's just choose a random emoji. Heart. Save settings. Okay. So now if we go back to our other window, and we call through now, you'll now see obviously that the emoji's already changed, but if you call through again, you should now see that the title has now changed to Numbergroup Notification. Now obviously you can configure this however you want. It's totally up to you. You can call it whatever you want, you can put whatever emoji you like on there, it doesn't matter. As time goes on, we will probably introduce our own application which basically allows you to essentially do this, so it all comes pre-configured anyway, but for the time being you have to do it all manually, so this is basically how you would do it. You can obviously configure, this is the structure of the message that I set up. You can obviously choose whichever structure you like. So you would need to refer to Slack's documentation about what type of markups they use and so on and so forth. I'll put a link in the top right, so basically you can link to the post body that I put in there in this case, so you can use that in your own examples going forward. And that is pretty much it. This is just a quick example about how you can integrate Slack with our own system. Obviously, you could do additional webhooks, which basically post a message when the call is ended, when the call is connected. There's a whole load of different ways that you can use the system to basically post information through to Slack. One thing to note, if you want to post through to multiple channels, so let's say you also want to post through to general, you would also need to set up another separate integration within Slack for that particular channel. That URL that we copied before literally links it to this random channel only. So if you wanted the stuff go into general as well, for example, you would need to go back into Apps and Integrations, create a new webhook, and then an incoming webhook, and link it to this particular channel. You'll get a different URL, and then you would need to set that up within the system as well to basically send it to two different channels. Okay, well I hope this has been useful to you. If you obviously like the video, click subscribe, and obviously if you have any questions or any problems with the video I've done for you today, then please leave a comment below, or alternatively email us at support@numbergroup.com, or give us a call on 0800 310 1010. Okay, thank you very much for your time.